tell the audience, this is how was that transition from freestyle to written battles in the US back then?
Ooh, great question. Yeah, people don't really quite ask that question. um, so for me, as far back as I can remember, I came to America in 1999. I had been rapping for like a year only, or like 2 years at home alone, not in front of anybody in public. You know what I
Wow.
mean? In Lebanon, you know what I mean? I was like, and I had like friends, like I would rap in front of friends, but I wasn't like in places or like I didn't have a name, nothing. I started writing, but I would see that like freestyling was more popping, and I had like a natural talent for not having to write it first. I would think of it and then write it. So then I slowly started thinking of shit and like keeping it in my head. That's how it started. My brain started like, instead of writing it down, because I couldn't write it down at the time when I think about it, I was forcing myself to keep remembering it. And then my brain started thinking without a pen. And then without a pen, I gradually started training myself to freestyle, but I was scared to do it in public. I was afraid I would try it in front of some of my friends and shit like that. I was like 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? Oh. So I come here when I'm 15. And immediately, you know, I see this fucking crazy community out here of people that cipher and they freestyle, but nobody is writing shit. Like, it's like there's no fucking writtens. You're going to places. I would go and see places, people rapping, and I'm like, damn, like they keep going and going, and like they're rapping about things that are happening. So I realized quickly that like you gotta freestyle and learn how to freestyle. So my brain just focused on that. The idea of writing was not even there anymore. So from like 99 to like 2005, and keep in mind there was videos of Mook and Lux floating around in Rex, and we would see them and be like, damn, this is like some crazy shit. It's way more polished than our shit, but it's written. You know what I mean? So we like respected it, but we like kind of just like didn't really, we stayed away from it because it was like, oh, that shit is written. You know what I mean? Like we're coming up with this shit on the spot. So, and
Exactly.
it wasn't like the written stuff was like its own little, like they were doing like battles in their own little places. It wasn't really part of the battle rap community. Like there wasn't big tournaments that were written tournaments. There wasn't, none of that existed. It was like scribble jams and rap Olympics and really huge events that you couldn't come there and just fucking spit some written shit. You know what I mean? So you had to, so we didn't see it as that. Like we focused on the freestyling. You couldn't even think of writing because there was people that were so sharp at freestyling because they practiced every day, like No Can Do, and people that you knew about, like for me in LA, to where I was like, bro, if I ran into these dudes, I would have to like, and there was people like the Saurus up north in like, so you needed to like know how to fucking freestyle because it was discouraging to even think to write at that time. You'd be like, nah, fuck that. I'd get killed if I write. This guy's gonna freestyle some shit and the crowd's gonna boo me. You know what I'm saying? It was a bad idea to write in battles because the crowd picks up on it, you're fucked back then. If the crowd
Obviously.
notices, oh, wait a minute, he wrote that, boo, it's written, they'll start saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? so and then the fact is that the guy could rebuttal your shit and destroy it in one bar because back then you only had 30 seconds, right?
Exactly.
It was quick battle rap. Now, we did do longer battles like that, but when you were in tournaments, you had 30 seconds to like, sometimes you got 45, you got a 45, you know what I mean? You got lucky, you got a minute in some events, you know what I mean? And like, you had to quickly come up with the shit because you had no time to slide in writtens like that, you know what I mean? So it started from that to pre-meds. Then we started having like a written line that could match the opponent, right? But how do you do that not knowing who your opponent was? Because back then you didn't know who you were going to battle.
Exactly.
So you had to have one line for every type of motherfucker that existed. A long nosed guy, a fat guy, a skinny guy. It doesn't fucking matter what they were. You had to have a line about each one of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember back then, I didn't even battle a girl, and I had a line in case I ever battled a girl. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, you had a pre-med, and then you go off that and you build freestyle off that, and but you still have like your haymaker pre-meds. So that's how it started. Then like slowly the culture started shifting in the street, like, and the smack thing started influencing us here in LA so hard that our events that we would go to out here started having gun bars in them, and like, they started having people that were coming with street shit, right? And then we started a thing called the Pit in 2005, right? So in 2005, it was like a mix of like the biggest, like the most street dudes that battle that you could imagine coming there, and a lot of like street celebrities that would come over there, and it was a very authentic place. And like for us, what happened was I came to this place. I was the only Arab dude, non-street, non-black dude in there. You know what I'm saying? And I came there and like just like, hey, hello, like knocked on the door. There wasn't a door, but it was like I came over there. It was just like, hey, I want to be part of these rap battles, and they all were like, they really laughed at me. We're like, all right, man, write your name over here. This ain't that type of battle rap. So when I went in there, I freestyled my first time, and I actually won the crowd over completely. I destroyed the entire venue. I beat like 4 or 5 people in a row. They tried to kill me off the stage. They were trying to kill me. The crowd was trying to kill me. The host was trying to kill me. Like, he was saying this shit. Like, someone get this guy the fuck out of here. Like, the host was making fun of me and everything, bro. It was like some 8 Mile shit. So, I go in there and like, basically I become like a name in there, and I'm freestyling, but then I notice like people are spitting like crazy written shit, you know what I mean? And like they're coming with like really good shit, and the crowds are reacting to it. So for me, I was like, I'm gonna start mixing my shit with all written shit, like, and then I'm gonna freestyle, like I'm gonna mix it half. That's what I started doing. I was like, I'm gonna mix it half. Then I was like, I'm just gonna write the shit and I'm gonna freestyle when I need to, you know what I mean? And like, so my transition happened right there here in LA, where the Pit was like the bridge between, because what happened was, hold on, what before we went into that transition, we came to the Pit and we were battling on beat. At the time, we were all battling on beat.
Right.
So, but the Pit said, hey guys, we're doing 3 rounds like all the other battles, but this time we're doing 2 on beat and 1 acapella. So that's how it started, bro. It started 2 rounds on beat, 1 acapella. So you went the first 2 rounds, the DJ gave you a random beat, and then the 3rd round the crowd went quiet, and so then there was this like opening for acapella now. Like everybody had to have 1 round of acapella to be fucking part of this battle shit. You know what I mean? So then it went from there to like, fuck it, all 3 rounds. We just cut out the beat, and it went gradually from the 2 rounds to all 3 rounds being a cappella. And then once the writing became so good that the freestyle couldn't keep up with it, we never went back. Like the freestyling thing still stayed alive after that, and it tapered off probably, I'd say, around 2008. It pretty much was like the beginning of the death of freestyle battle rap on beats, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then the birth of Grind Time and Smack and King of the Dot, and you know what I'm saying? It was a rap then. It was, because then they all noticed, you know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, it had already started with the WRCs being off beat, like not on beat, you know what I mean? So the WRCs were like the first real bridge, if you want to talk mainstream wise, the bridge was WRCs. Shouts out to Harry. Harry in London, you know what I mean? You got to interview him. Shouts out to my guy. He's a pioneer. You know, Harry, he was the guy that started the free Jump Off. It's called Jump Off TV. And Jump Off TV had the freestyle battles on beat, and then they went into the acapella themselves. And that was what made it like a worldwide thing. We started seeing that. And then that's when I started mixing in the new style. Like, I started noticing that, like, oh, rapping about street shit isn't enough to win a battle. Now you have to talk about somebody's family, the way they look, and all this fucking shit. And, like, you have to mix it all up, and like that whole new style of like more current edge of battle rap mixed with the acapella gave birth to like the grind time and King of the Dot, and then the URL came from the Smack lineage. You know what I mean? That branch developed, the Smack branch developed into the URL tree that you see today, and WRCs was the precursor to King of the Dot and grind time, and now GTX. You know what I'm saying?
And let me ask you this: how the game has changed in terms of lyricism or skills from that era to nowadays?
Honestly, like it's advanced and it's went backwards. You know what I mean?
What do you mean when you say it went backwards?
So like the top like 3% of battle rap has gotten better. The writing has gotten sharper in some cases. People are advancing, they're becoming better writers. But the bulk of battle rap, you see, back in the day, it was like 80% of battle rap was advancing. You know what I mean? And only 20% were like the under guys that like copied everyone, and they really, nobody really cared about them. Today it's only like 3% of the people that are left that are actually like writing crazy stuff and like are creating original material, and the rest has unfortunately, sadly enough, resorted to recycling everything that's happened in the past, and the lyricism has fell off as a whole. It has regressed, it has went backwards. But if we're talking about the elites that are involved in the quality, and a lot of us just are getting better, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just I think it's more of a bad thing, because there used to be more people that were original, and now everybody sounds the same. Everybody steals a formula that's already there. Their cadence, their writing, their count. The metronome is stolen. Nobody even has their own metronome. Everyone's rap. That's why I sound different. And a lot of people don't like my shit now, because a lot of these new fans are conditioned to hear the dun 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 dun. As soon as I go, it's too much for them. They can't fucking comprehend it, and it's not, you know what I mean? But back in the day, you used to have different, everybody was fucking different. You used to have people that just rapped completely fucking nuts and completely different, and we still accepted them. You know what I mean? And that's what battle rap is originality at its core, and we've lost that, and through that we lost lyricism too.
Word. And well, let me ask you another thing about your creative process, because I asked this same question to Johnny Storm, Loso, Cortez, and also my boy Cali Smooth as well, and they all gave me different answers to this. So
really,
yeah. So what is your creative process when you sit down and start writing for a battle?
Oh shit, man. Honestly, it's hard to answer that, to be real with you, because respect. If it was how I